You can scroll. And I'm scrolling. And scrolling. And scrolling. And there's nothing that is objectively transphobic. She's calling for the protection of biological women. How is that transphobic? Can somebody explain to me? Because nowhere has she ever stated, and I'm gonna take a shot every time that I have to explain this multiple times in this video, but she has never stated that trans people don't exist, that trans people don't deserve rights, that they're delusional, that they are just crazy, and that trans women they're just, fakes and they don't deserve any rights and, stuff that you see from actual trans people. There are actual trans people who have tweeted awful and degrading things, or not trans people, sorry, there are actual transphobic people who have tweeted degrading things and awful things about the LGBT community and transgender people, and those people have an issue. Those people are transphobic. J.K. Rowling is not one of them. Everyone, I really honestly feel like everyone has just jumped on the bandwagon of hate J.K. Rowling. Oh, J.K. Rowling's transphobic. And fucking nobody is doing actual research and looking up what she has actually said. Because if they did, I honest to God believe that there would be less people who think that she's this awful person. Because I'm looking...
Yeah, to me, I honestly think that out of all the content creators that I watch, I tend to watch people who range, honestly. But I've never really deemed myself in the perspective of many of the people who are more in the transphobic lane. Because, to me, this is the thing. I hear from transgender people because I watch their channels. I'm subscribed to at least 3. I hear what they have to say. I watch channels that are more in the middle, and I watch channels that are more, I guess you could say, coming off on the more conservative, lane, or some would call transphobic lane, depending on who it is. My thing is this. I kind of feel like, when people say transgender people are, their mental illness, their mental capacity, their mental health or whatever, I don't really care too much about that. And I'm sorry if that sounds rough, but that's not really what concerns me. Whether they have a mental illness or not is not my thing. Really, it's not that. It's not really whether they're, delusional or not. Those are the things, to me, it's their body. It's their choice. They do whatever they want with their body. My thing is actually safety. My main interest is specifically safety. But I've always heard people consider this homophobic to be concerning yourself with women's safety, because people always act like if you are concerned with women's safety, you're saying that trans women are monsters, basically. My thing is, I don't personally think that. And that's the thing that I disagree with when it comes to certain people. Certain content creators will come up with the whole AGP idea and that they are gay men. I don't personally think that of transgender people. I don't specifically know why all transgender people are trans. I figure it is obviously for mental reasons. Sometimes I do question, is this the way to treat it? But, I mean, if that's the way someone wants to treat it, then that's the way they want to treat it, right? It's their body, it's their choice, it's their life, But I don't think they're monsters. I think this. Most trans women are attracted to women. I know people don't like to pay attention to this, but most trans women are attracted to women. And that's not a bad thing. It's not wrong to be attracted to women. Are men bad because they're attracted to women? Are lesbians bad because they're attracted to women? No. But they are attracted to women, largely. You can look at statistics. The majority of trans women are bisexuals, and then after that, they're lesbians. It's only a small percentage that are actually straight. Now, trans women have physically more strength than a woman. They have the capability to basically overpower a woman. That's more my concern, okay? It's not specifically saying that all trans women have the capability to overpower women. All trans women want to overpower women. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is specifically that I kind of feel like specifically men can be in women's bathrooms, okay? I'm saying actual men can be in women's bathrooms and never hurt women. Not all men would hurt a woman just because he's using the same bathroom as her. Many men would not hurt women because they wouldn't hurt women in any situation. So, I'm just pointing that out that many men would not do that to women, despite the fact that men have the power to do it, and despite the fact that men are attracted to women. You can use this same logic to trans women. Most trans women probably wouldn't attack women because I don't think that most trans women are psychopathic, crazy, serial killing, rapist, you know, psychopaths, crazy people. I don't think they're specifically that unhinged, okay? But there are some men who will basically take advantage of the fact that they have more strength than women and they are attracted to women. So they will take their strength and overpower a woman. For those reasons, for the reasons of the minority of men, we have separate bathrooms. It's not because of the majority, because many men would not do anything in a bathroom with women. So, with the whole thing with trans women, I would say the same. The majority of trans women would probably not do anything when around women in a bathroom. But we still have a collective whole. How can you say a collective whole will do anything? You can't. They're not robots, they're individuals, which means they can and will do different things in different situations. Trans women are not like one size fits all kind of group, basically. They're basically a group of people who will do different things depending on the individual. So you can't say someone that's transgender is a good person. You can't say a man is a good person. You can't say an intersex person is a good person. You can't say a trans man is a good person. You can't say a woman is a good person. You get what I'm saying? You can't say, just in general, blanketly, one type of identity is a good person. You can't say that. So you can't trust all trans women to do anything. And for those reasons, you can't trust all trans women not to take advantage of women because if they have the power to do so and they have the desire to do so, then basically all that it's left to is the person's judgment on whether they would do it or not. And you can't say that every trans woman would not do it. Therefore, that's the reason why, for me, I don't personally think trans women should have the same bathroom as women. But I do think that there are too many violent men, apparently, in the men's bathroom, because supposedly trans women sometimes say that they are attacked by men when they're in the male bathroom. So, I mean, like, there's another problem out of this other than trans women in a bathroom. It might be also the fact that some people have a violent attitude towards transgender women for some weird reason. I think the problem is that some people are not comfortable with their sexuality and they don't like trans women in their spaces like that sometimes because they're bisexuals, but they don't want to admit it and they feel uncomfortable with trans women because it makes them question their sexuality. So to me, I'm just pointing that out there. Um, there's layers to this issue, but yeah, when we talk about this whole issue, to me, it's like, I do not think transgender people don't deserve rights. I definitely think transgender people deserve rights, equal rights to everybody else. Um, I don't think we need to see them as monsters either. I don't think we should be pushing people to transition either, though. I don't even really think, I personally don't think that we should celebrate it either because it's like, well, you are changing your body and everything. If we can come up with a different solution to it, that would be great. But I mean, like, if you want to do that with your life, that's cool too. Kind of like thing. I guess I have an outlook on it like if I were in your situation, I wouldn't do it. But like if you want to do it, only you can decide if you want to do it. You know what I mean? If that's your choice, go ahead with it. Um, one other part I wanted to talk about was, I kind of feel like with these situations, that a lot of the time with this issue, I kind of feel like gender in itself is what I don't agree with more than it has to do with transgender to me. Because when we're talking about transgender people, you talk about gender, and I don't personally believe in gender, you know, and I kind of feel like with gender, it's like this. I feel gender was put in place to support men for men to benefit off of the gender system, basically. I don't think the gender social construct of gender um, is really beneficial to females or people who are born intersex. It's specifically beneficial to people who are born male. So I don't understand why I should acknowledge a system that was made for the oppression of women. I mean, like, if we're really honest, the original social construct of gender was to oppress women and intersex people. So, I don't understand why would I acknowledge gender. And so when I say that, it does come across transgender in the sense where they identify with a gender. And I don't really think that the female sex should be associated with a gender because I feel like that pigeonholes female people into a rabbit hole of oppression because the gender construct was made to oppress women in the first place. So I don't understand why I would acknowledge this. It's like almost like having like a situation where I know this is a different story, but if you were talking about like if someone was, I'm not saying that, but I'm saying if someone was talking about like um certain views on racial ideology, like they have some kind of a supremacy or something, then if a Chinese person, Hispanic person, or a black person was to hear these types of ideologies, it's like expecting the black person to follow it, basically. That's how I feel gender, the social construct of gender is, basically. It's a construct that was made to oppress you. Why follow it? Just like, you wouldn't expect a black person to follow a construct of racism because it's literally made to oppress a black person or Hispanic person or Asian person or white person, Um, so my point is in this conversation, it's just like, I kind of just feel like, um, they're bigger issues than specifically transgender people that I have stronger feelings on than particularly a transgender person transitioning their sex. Um, I do think it's a futile move because they do surgery on their body and then they never become the sex that they want to be. So it's kind of like, I don't know, they're trying and it doesn't really work, but do your best. And I respect pronouns. I do respect pronouns because I think like this: if someone is suicidal because a you know they are someone who is of one sex and they're not comfortable with that sex and they have gender dysphoria, then I think it is the right thing to do. It's respectable to actually acknowledge the sex they want to be acknowledged as. Because, I mean, why would you try to say they're another sex so then they can go into further depression and they could possibly hurt themselves in the long run? You know, but in closing, I just want to say, honestly, when it comes to platforms on transgender people, it is a little bit problematic for me because it seems like I don't really fit anywhere. Because like with certain people who are very like transgender and they're like the transgender like platforms, they don't make sense so much because they can't they can't acknowledge reality. And then also on the other side of it, it's a problem because it's like those people, if you don't say completely what they say, they get a little bit bothered, it seems like. Like, if you're to say, like, you don't, um, like, for one, if I mention intersex people, for example, a lot of people get mad at me. I had so many dang fights over intersex people, and intersex people aren't even transgender. They're actually born both sexes. But it's those type of people who can't take any difference to what they're used to. And it's like, for me, my problem with transgender people is not I'm not used to anything different. I've been around transgender people. I mean, like, I've been around transgender people since I was like 19, a lot. And I would associate with them online too. So I mean, like, I'm very familiar with them. But it's just a matter of reality. When you are a sane person and you're aware of reality, it is hard to pretend. For me, that's the only thing. Is sometimes it is hard to pretend on recognizing certain realities that have to be acknowledged. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm not of the mentality where like I'm just not too focused on what someone wants to be called, really. I'm still willing to respect them in that regard, and I still think they deserve rights. It's just, much of this video was really how I could honestly relate to how I generally see um and view transgender people. I might have a little bit slight difference in the sense where I do think it's not Like, I mean, is gender dysphoria something that's pleasurable? Is giving into it pleasurable? I don't think so. From everything I've heard from transgender people, it doesn't seem to be, you know. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm not the type that's willing to push it on to people, but I also am not the type that's like trying to tell people who are transgender and, they're comfortable in the life that they live that they need to live a different type of lifestyle. That's like not my thing. One thing is with the whole situation, I think that started any issue for me was personally my sexuality. Because personally for me, I'm the type that has a sexuality that is attracted to people who are basically male in sex. Now, that means I'm attracted to men, and I'm also attracted to trans women. Oh, stop. So, for me, that's my norm, basically. You know, and some people are uncomfortable with that and not accepting of other people's sexuality. And that's common with this whole theory. They've had this issue where same sex attracted people are not even accepted sometimes because they still need to be attracted to the opposite sex as long as they identify with the same sex as them. That's my problem, and it's been my problem for a bit, like since I was young. Anytime I was kind of like open about the fact that I don't have really a gender preference, but I have a sex preference, um, it's always bothered people. They call me like a fetishist, that I'm hateful or something, or I chose to be this way, when it's like nobody chooses their sexuality, you know? I don't understand why some people think it's okay to be hateful to people's sexuality if it doesn't align with what they identify with. They should just say that this person is probably not the right person for them. But it's not like you should disrespect someone's sexuality, And I don't think you should disrespect anyone's gender either or their identity either. You know, I respect people's identity and sexuality, you know, and I think most people should do that. So that's all I have to say in this video. But yeah, this was a great video. I shared it on my community tag. If anyone wants to watch it, it's a great video. I think J.K. Rowling is really bright, and isn't a transphobe at all. But yeah, I like these new videos that the monologue is bringing up because they're really good topics. So anyway, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, everyone. Comment down below and have a great day. Bye, guys.